Good morning, year one. I'm going to start with some maths again today. There is a skill shop on the screen for you. If you could pause this video and have a go at this, please, or if you want to print it off, it is on the school website. Off you go. Fantastic. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen because we're going to do a little bit of fluency, and we're going to carry on from where we started yesterday. So we are going to do our number bonds up to 9. So 9 is our whole. What is my first number bond going to be? So our first number bond, working systematically, is going to start with 0. So 0 plus how many more equals 9? 0 plus 9 more equals 9. So one part is 0, one part is 9. The whole is 9. Fantastic. What is my next number bond going to be? What is my next number bond going to be? Systematically after 0 becomes 1. So my first part is 1. My other part is, if my whole is 9, one part is 1. One part is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One part is 1. One part is 8, the whole is 9. Can you make sure you've got 9 objects and you're joining in with me to do this, and send us in a video if you're doing your fluency afterwards? That'd be fantastic. So after 1, our next number bond systematically is going to start with 2. So our first part is 2, our remaining part is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One part is 2, one part is 7, the whole is 9. We could also say that 2 plus 7 more equals our whole, which is 9. After 2, our next systematic number bond is going to start with 3. So one part is 3, one part is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One part is 3, one part is 6, the whole is 9. We could also say that 3 plus 6 more equals our whole, which is 9. So after 3, our next systematic number bond is going to start with, after 3, it's going to start with 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So our first part is 4. Our second part is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one part is 4, one part is 5, the whole is 9. Fantastic. So we've just done our systematic number bond starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. What is our next systematic number bond going to start with? What comes after 4? 5. So our first part is 5, one part is 5, our other part is 4, the whole is 9. We could also say that 5 plus 4 more equals our whole, which is 9. After that, after 5, what's our next number bond going to start with? It's going to start with 6. So our first number bond is, our next number bond is, one part is 6, one part is 3, the whole is 9. We could also say that 6 plus 3 more equals our whole, which is 9. Okay, after 6, what is our next number bond going to start with? Let's have a look. It's going to start with 7. So one part is 7, one part is 2, the whole is 9. We could also say that 7 plus 2 more equals 9. So after 7, our next number bond is going to be, what comes after 7? It's going to be 8. One part is 8, one part is 1, the whole is 9. We could also say that 8 plus 1 more equals our whole, which is 9. And lastly, our next number bond is going to start with, we've just done number bonds starting with 8. Our next number bond is going to be 9. 9 plus how many more equals our whole, which is 9. 9 plus 0 more equals a whole, which is 9. We could also say that one part is 9, one part is 0. Our whole is 9. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, so on maths today, we are going to be looking at fact families again. Just like yesterday, we're going to be looking at 8 fact families to go with each part whole model. So let's have a look at this one first. So here we have our part whole model, and because it's a pictorial representation, we have the whole represented and the parts, but we don't count everything when we count the whole, we just count what is in here, because these 2 parts here are represented by these 2 parts here. They're the same 2 counters, we don't need to count them twice. So let's look at our number sentences. So our number sentence is saying that our whole is 8. Let's just check that. Careful counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Our whole is 8. So if the whole is 8, what is the first part? Let's count this as the first part for now. So the first part is 1, 2. So if the whole is 8, where am I going to write my first part? I'm going to write it right here. So the first part is 2 and the whole is 8. 2 plus how many more equals 8? So I'm going to count my remaining parts. This is my first part, this is my whole, and this is my remaining part. So let's count the remaining part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 plus 6 more equals 8, or we can say that one part is 2, the remaining part is 6, the whole is 8. So now we're looking for the fact family of this number bond. So we've just said 2 plus 6 more equals 8. This time we're going to start with 6. We're going to start with our other part. So here I know I have 6 counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 is our first part. Plus how many more? Let's look at our other part. Plus how many more? 1, 2, 6 plus 2 more equals our whole, which we know is 8. And it's already written in for us. Oh, that's not very good too. Let's rub that out. Let's cross that out and write a better one. 2. Fantastic. This time we're going to look at a number sentence with a subtraction. So in a subtraction, we know that our whole goes before our subtraction symbol. So our whole is 8 and is before our subtraction symbol. So 8 subtract one of our parts. So should we start with this one? 8 subtract 1, 2. 8 subtract 2 equals our remaining part. So if this is my whole and this is my first part, this is my remaining part. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 subtract 2 equals 6. Fantastic. Let's have a look again. So this is the other fact family for our subtraction, and our whole goes before our subtraction symbol. So last time we said that 8 subtract 2 equals our remaining part, which is 6. So this time we're going to say that 8 subtract this part first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equals our remaining part, which is 1, 2. Oh, halfway there, working systematically. Fantastic. Okay, so now we're going to look at some more fact families. This time it's an addition number sentence, and we know that because my addition symbol is here. So my whole is 8 because my whole goes here in an addition number sentence. So my whole is 8. 8 equals something plus something. But let's look at my two parts. So 8 equals this part first. 8 equals 2, 1, 2. Plus how many more? So we've done our whole is 8 equals one part plus how many more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 equals 2 plus 6 more. Fantastic. And let's look at the fact family of that. So our fact family for that is 8 equals, we've already done our whole equals this part plus this part. So this time we're going to say that 8 equals this part, which is 6, plus how many more? 1, 2. Fantastic. Now, our next two fact families are subtractions, because we've got a subtraction symbol in there. So in our subtraction, our whole goes before the subtraction symbol. So we're going to say that one of our parts, that our remaining part equals our whole, subtract our first part. So we can pick one of our parts to be our remaining parts. Let's start with this one. So 1, 2 is our remaining part. And 8 subtracts our first part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 equals 8 subtract 6. Let's try that the other way around. So this time let's start with our whole. Our whole subtract our first part. So last time our 6 was our first part. So this time our 2 is going to be our first part. So 8 subtract 2 equals our remaining part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fantastic. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, let's look at our next one. So our next one, this is saying that our whole is 9. Let's just double check that's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we know that our whole is 9. So this is an addition number sentence. In an addition number sentence, we're looking for one part plus one part equals our whole, which is 9. So our first part is going to be this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plus our remaining part. Our remaining part is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 plus 5 equals 9. Fantastic. And now we're looking for the fact family. So we've got another addition. We've already done 4 plus 5 equals 9. So this, our first part plus our remaining part equals our whole. So this time we're going to say that this is our first part. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus how many more? 1, 2, 3, 4 more equals our whole, which is 9. So we just swapped the order that we wrote our parts down in to create our fact family. So this fact family is a this number sentence is a subtraction number sentence. We've got a subtraction symbol there. So our whole goes before our subtraction symbol. You can see that there. And our whole is subtracting our first amount, our first part. So our whole subtract our first part. So this can be our first part to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4. 9 subtract 4 equals our remaining part. So if this is my whole and this is my first part, where is my remaining part? My remaining part is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 9 subtract 4 equals 5. Fantastic. We're looking for another fact family. So again, it's a subtraction number sentence and we are starting with the whole before the subtraction symbol. So 9 subtract. So last time we did 9 subtract off this part. So this time we're going to do 9 subtract this part. So 9 subtract 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals. So 9 subtract our first part equals our remaining part, which is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our next fact family is an addition fact family and we are starting with the whole. So the whole, which is 9, equals one part plus one part. So let's have a look. 9 equals one part, which is 4, plus one part, which is 5. Fantastic. And our next is an addition number sentence. So our whole is 9. 9 equals, well, we've already said that 9 equals 4 plus 5. So this time we're going to swap our parts over and we're going to say that 9 equals 5. This part first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus our remaining part, 1, 2, 3, 4. Brilliant. Oh, looking a little bit trickier now. So we've got another subtraction number sentence. So let's start with our whole. So our whole is 9. 9 subtract our first part. So here's our whole, 9. It's going to subtract our first part, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 9 subtract 4 equals our remaining part, which is, so if this is our first part and this is our whole, this becomes our remaining part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 equals 9 subtract 4. And our last fact family is going to be very similar. We're going to swap our parts over. We're going to start with our whole. Our whole subtracts our first part. So this was our first part last time. So we're going to start with this part this time. So our whole, which is 9, subtracts our first part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9 subtract 5 equals our remaining part, which is this part, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 equals 9 subtract 5. Fantastic. Okay, let's have a look at another one. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got a whole written in again. So saying our whole is 7. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fantastic. Our whole is 7, and the whole has come at the end of our number sentence, and this is an addition number sentence, so it's asking us one part plus one part equals our whole, which is 7. So one part is 1, 2, 3. Our first part is 3, plus our other part, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus our other part, which is 4, equals our whole, which is 7. Fantastic. Let's look at the fact family of that number sentence. So we've just said that 3, one part, which is 3, plus the other part, which is 4, equals our whole, which is 7. So this time we're going to say one part, which is 4, plus the other part, which is 3, equals our whole, which is 7. Fantastic. So now we're going to look at another fact family, and this number sentence is a subtraction. So in a subtraction, our whole goes before our subtraction symbol, so our whole is 7. 7 subtract one part. So 7 subtract our first part, which is 1, 2, 3. 7 subtract our first part, which is 3, equals our remaining part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Equals our remaining part, which is 4. And our other fact family is going to be our whole, which is 7. Subtract our first part. So last time our first part was 3. So this time our first part is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 subtract our first part, which is 4, equals our remaining part, which is 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. Okay, let's keep going. So we've got another addition number sentence. So our addition number sentence is 7 equals something plus something. Well, I know it's 7 is our whole. It's going to be our first part, which is 3, this part here, plus our other part, which is 4. And the fact family of that number sentence is going to be 7 equals, we've just done 3 plus 4. So this time we're going to do 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 1, 2, 3, which is our other part. Fantastic. Oh, now we've got a subtraction number sentence. So our whole in a subtraction number sentence goes before the subtraction symbol. So there is our whole. So we're going to do our whole, subtract our first part. So our whole is 7. Subtract our first part, which is 1, 2, 3. Our whole, subtract our first part, which is 3, equals our remaining part. This is now our remaining part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 equals 7, subtract 3. And let's look at our last fact family. So our whole is 7. We've just done 7, subtract our first part, which is 3. So now we're going to do 7, subtract. We're going to swap our parts over, and this is going to become our first part. 7, subtract our first part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Equals our remaining part, which is 1, 2, 3. 3 equals 7, subtract 4. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to work through this one with you, and then you're going to try and do this one independently and come back for checking. So this is telling me that my whole is 8. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my whole is 8, and this is saying that one part, which is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus one part, which is 1, 2, 3, equals our whole, which is 8. Fantastic. So this time we're going to do the fact family of that number sentence. So we're going to swap our parts over. So instead of saying that 5 plus 3 more equals 8, we're going to say that 3, which is this part, plus 5 more, which is this part, equals our whole, which is 8. Fantastic. Now let's look. We're going to start with our whole. No, sorry, we're going to start with a subtraction now. So it's a subtraction number sentence. So our whole goes before our subtraction symbol. So our whole is 8. 8 subtract our first part. Well, our first part this time is going to be this part. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8 subtract 5 equals our remaining part, which is 1, 2, 3. 8 subtract 5 equals 3. And let's have a look at that again. So we're going to start again with our whole. 8 is our whole. Subtract our first part. So last time we subtracted 5. So this time we're going to subtract 3. 8 subtract our first part, which is 3, equals our remaining part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, whizzing through this one. So again, our whole is 8. Starting off our number sentence, and it's an addition number sentence, so it's 8 equals something plus something. So 8 equals, let's start with our first part, which is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus our other part, which is 1, 2, 3. And our fact family for that, we're just going to swap our parts over. So 8 is our whole. 8 equals our first part, which is 3, plus our other part, which is 5. Fantastic. Now back to subtraction. So in subtraction, our whole is placed before our subtraction symbols. 8 subtract our first part. So 8 subtract our first part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8 subtract 5 equals our remaining part, which is 1, 2, 3. Our last subtraction number sentence is going to be 8 is our whole, subtract our first part. So we've already done 8, subtract 5. So this time we're going to do 8, subtract this part, which is 1, 2, 3. 8 subtract 3 equals our remaining part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in our number sentence, it says 5 subtract, so 5 equals 8 subtract 3. Brilliant. Okay, I'd like you to pause your screen and please have a go at this one. Make sure you're sending in your work at the end so we know you're doing a fantastic job, and then we'll whiz through the answers together. Off you go. Fantastic. Okay, let's have a look at this one then. So we know that our whole is 3. So our whole is 3. And it's an addition number sentence, so we're going to say that our first part is 2 plus our remaining part, which is 1, equals our whole, which is 3. We're going to do the fact family for that number sentence. So instead of starting with 2, we're going to start with this part, which is 1. So 1 plus our other part, which is 2, equals our whole, which is 3. Now we've got subtraction. So 3 is our whole. Subtract our first part, which is going to be 2. 3 subtract 2 equals our remaining part, which is 1. And we're going to do the fact family for that. So this time we're going to start with our whole, which is 3, and we're going to subtract this part, which is 1. It's going to equal our remaining part, which is 2. Oh, I didn't quite like that, 2. 2. Okay, so this is saying our whole is 3. We're starting with our whole, and it's an addition. So our whole equals our first part, which is 2, plus our remaining part, other part, which is 1. We do the fact family for that. So we say our whole is 3 equals one part, which is 1, plus the other part, which is 2. And looking at subtraction now, so we're going to start with our whole. So our whole subtract our first part. So our whole subtract our first part, which is 2, equals our remaining part, which is 1. And finally, our whole, which is 3, subtract our first part, which is 1, equals our remaining part, which is 2. So we can say 2 equals 3 subtract 1. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, so this time it's not giving us our whole in our number sentence, but it's giving us one of our parts. It's saying that one part is 2. Let's have a look. So I can say that this part is 2. So number saying that 2 plus something equals our whole. Well, 2 is our first part plus our other part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 plus 4 more equals our whole, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fantastic. 2 plus 4 equals 6. Let's have a look at the fact family for that. So this time we're saying that something plus 2 more equals something. So we know our whole is 6. So we're going to put our whole in there because it's an addition. So our whole goes on the other side of our equal symbol. And we know our one part is 2. So it's our plus 2 there. So our other part, which is 4, is going to go in there. Fantastic. So that's our addition fat families. Let's look at our subtraction fat families. So subtraction, I know that my whole is going to go before my subtraction symbols. That's what's going to start off my number sentence. My whole is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 subtract something equals 2. Well, I know that then 2 in this number sentence is my remaining part. So that means my first part must be 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 subtract 4 equals my whole. 6 subtract 4 equals my remaining part, which is 2. So 6 subtract 4 equals 2. Again, it's a subtraction. So before my subtraction symbol is going to be my whole. So my whole is 6, and that's going to go in there. So saying 6 subtract 2, which is my first part, equals my remaining part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. So this time it's looking for an addition, and it's looking for what's going to go in here. It's an addition number sentence. So my equal symbol is here. This is going to be my whole. So I know my whole is 6. 6 equals 2, which is my first part, plus my other part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. And this time again, so it's an addition number sentence, so I know that my whole is going to go here. 6 equals something plus 2. Well, I know my other part is 2, so my first part must be here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plus 2. Fantastic. Okay, now subtraction number sentence. In a subtraction number sentence, where does my whole go? Where does my whole go? My whole goes before my subtraction symbol. So I know my whole is 6. This is saying that 2, which is my remaining part, equals 6 subtract my first part. So if this is my remaining part, this is my first part. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally, let's look at this one. So I know that before my subtraction symbol is going to go my whole. So my whole is 6. Subtract my first part, which is 2, and then my remaining part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to go in here. So 4 equals 6 subtract 2. Brilliant. Let's have a look at this one together. This is saying that one of my parts is 1. So here is my part that's 1. 1 plus something equals my whole. Well, let's have a look at that. So my whole is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My whole is 6. And one of my parts is 1. My other part is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One part is 1 and one part is 5 equals my whole, which is 6. Let's have a look at that again. So this time it's saying one part is something plus one more equals my whole. Well, I know my whole is 6. I know that this part is 1. I know that my other part is 5. 5 plus 1 more equals 6. Looking at a subtraction number sentence now. So in a subtraction number sentence, my whole goes before my subtraction symbol. So my whole is 6. Subtract. Subtract my first part. So I know that my 1 is my remaining part. So this is my remaining part, which is my first part. Can you point to it? Which is my first part? If this is my remaining part, which is my first part? This is my first part. Fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 subtract 5 equals my remaining part, which is 1. Fantastic. Again, a subtraction number sentence. So before my subtraction symbol is going to go my whole is 6. 6 subtract my first part, which is 1, equals my remaining part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's keep going. So we've got an addition number sentence. An addition number sentence, where does my whole go? My whole is going to go on this side of the equal symbol, because on this side there is one space, and on this side there is more than one space. My whole is going to go here. 6 equals my first part, which is 1, plus my remaining part, which is 5. Let's look at the fact family for that. So again, an addition number sentence, and I've got my whole to start me. So 6 equals something plus 1. So I know that my plus 1 is this part. So that's my remaining part. So my first part must be this part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 1. 6 equals 5 plus 1. Last couple. Let's look. They are going to be subtraction number sentences. So in a subtraction number sentence, this is telling me that my remaining part is 1. So my remaining part is 1. I know that my whole is going to go before my subtraction symbol. So my whole is 6. 6 subtract my first part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 equals 6 subtract 5. Fantastic. So now it's asking me to complete this one. So this is saying that I know I can put my whole before my subtraction symbol. So 6 is my whole. Subtract my first part, which is 1. So which is my remaining part? This is my whole. This is my first part. Where is my remaining part? My remaining part is here. My remaining part is 5. So 5 equals 6 subtract 1. Brilliant. Let's look at some together. So we're going to complete this one together, and then you're going to go and have a go at this one. Okay, so this is telling me that one of my parts is 4. So I know that 1, 2, 3, 4, that is this part. So it's asking me what my whole plus one of my parts, which is 4, plus how many more. So what is my whole? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Careful counting, and I know my whole is 10. 10 equals my first part, which is 4, plus my other part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fantastic. Now it's asking me again to start with my whole, because my equal symbol is here. So my whole is 10. 10 equals something plus 4. Well, I know my 4 is this part here, so that's my other part. So my first part is going to be this one, and I know that is 6. So 10 equals 6 plus 4 more. Okay, now let's have a look at this one. This is a subtraction number sentence. In a subtraction number sentence, I've already got my remaining part in there. We can put my whole in, because I know my whole is 10, and it goes before my subtraction symbol. 10 subtract my first part. Well, my 4 is my remaining part, which means this must be my first part. My first part is 6. 4 equals 10, subtract 6. Another subtraction number sentence. So again, I know I can start with my whole before my subtraction symbol. So 10 subtract 4. And that's my first part is 4. My remaining part is 6. So 6 equals 10, subtract 4. Brilliant. So look at this one. So it's an addition number sentence. So I know an addition number sentence, this single space here is going to be my whole. Oh, that's not very good. There we go. So my whole is 10. My first part is 4. My other part is 6. Fantastic. And let's have a look at that again. So now it's telling me that my other part is 4. So I know that my first part must be 6. And I know that my whole is 10. Now we're looking at a subtraction number sentence. So in a subtraction number sentence, my whole goes before my subtraction symbol. This is telling my remaining part is 4. My remaining part is 4. So which is my first part? My first part is 6. 10 subtract 6 equals 4. Oh, last one. So I know that my whole goes before my subtraction symbol. So I know my whole is going to go here. 10 subtract my first part, which is 4, equals my remaining part. So this is my first part. My remaining part is 6. Oh, brilliant. I would like you to pause your screen and please have a go at this one for me and come back to find out the answer. Fantastic. Okay, let's look at these answers. So this is telling me that one of my parts is 3. I know that this part is 3. 1, 2, 3. One of my parts is 1. My whole is 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's fill in our number sentence. So I know that my whole and addition sentence goes here. 4 equals 3, which is my first part, plus my other part, which is 1. Now it's looking again, so it's asking for my whole, which is 4, equals my first part plus my other part. So my other part is 3, which means my first part is 1. Again, this is now a subtraction, so I know that my whole goes before my subtraction symbol, and my whole is 4. And my remaining part is 3, which means my first part is 1. Again, subtraction, so my whole goes before my subtraction symbol. 4 subtract 3, which is my first part. My remaining part is 1. 1 equals 4 subtract 3. Let's look at this one over here. So I know that my whole is going to go on this side of my equal symbol in addition. So my whole is 4. My first part is 3. My other part is 1. Again, down here, my whole is going to go on this side of my equal symbol. And I know that one part is 3, so my other part is 1. My first part is 1. It's a subtraction now. So in my subtraction, I know my whole goes before my subtraction symbol. So 4 subtract my first part, which is 3, equals my remaining part, which is 1. And finally, this is saying that my remaining part is 3. So it's my whole, which is 4, subtract my first part, which is 1. Fantastic. Okay. Oh, a little bit tricky now. So we've got our same again, our 8 number sentences, but we have no parts and no holes in there to help us. So we need to complete them ourselves. So in addition number sentence, it's asking us for one part plus one part equals our whole. So one part is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One part is 5 plus the other part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Equals our whole, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Equals our whole, which is 9. Fantastic. So again, another addition number sentence. So this time we're going to swap our parts over. So instead of saying 5 plus 4 more equals 9, we're going to say that 4, start with this part, plus our other part, which is 5, equals our whole, which is 9. So look at this one. This is a subtraction. So in a subtraction, we know that our whole goes before our subtraction symbol, and our whole is 9. 9 subtract our first part, which is 5, equals our remaining part, which is 4. Again, it's another subtraction, so our whole is going to go before our subtraction symbol, so our whole is 9. subtract our first part. So last time our first part was 5, so this time our first part is going to be 4, this part over here, equals our remaining part, which is 5. Let's look at some more. So this is an addition symbol asking for a whole first, because there's one space here, so a whole is 9. 9 equals our first part, which is 5, plus our other part, which is 4. And again, here our whole is 9. 9 equals our first part, but we're going to swap our parts over. So this time, this one's going to be our first part. Our first part is 4, plus our other part, which is 5. Oh, and last two, these subtractions. In a subtraction, I know my whole goes before my subtraction symbol, so I'm going to put my whole in there. My whole subtract my first part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, equals my remaining part, which I know is 4. And again, put my whole in before my subtraction symbol. My whole subtract my first part. This time my first part is going to be 4, and my remaining part is going to be 5. So 5 equals 9. 5 equals 9, subtract 4. Brilliant. Let's go this one together, and then you're going to try this one on your own. So let's count our whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in addition number sentence, I know my whole is going to go here. So 10. And my two parts are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my first part is 7, and my other part is 1, 2, 3. 7 plus 3 equals 10. My first part plus my other part equals my whole. Let's have a look at that again. So again, it's an addition. So my whole, I know, is 10. And I'm going to swap my parts over. So instead of saying 7 plus 3, I'm going to say 3 plus 7. Fantastic. Now we're on subtraction. So in a subtraction, my whole always goes before my subtraction symbol. So there we go. That's my whole. So 10 subtract my first part, which is going to be 7, this part here, equals my remaining part, which is this part here, which is 3. Let's have a look at that again. So it's another subtraction. That means my whole is going to go at the beginning. 10 subtract my first part. This time my first part is going to be 3, equals my remaining part, which is 7. Again, it's an addition. So in addition, we're going to put my whole in first. So I know that my whole is wanted here, because this is my equal symbol. There's two parts here, so my whole is going here. My whole equals my first part, which is going to be 7, plus my other part, which is 3. This time again, start with my whole. So my whole is 10, equals, going to swap my parts over. So this time it's going to be 3 plus 7. And now on subtraction. So in subtraction, my whole goes before my subtraction symbol. So I'm going to put my whole here. My whole, subtract my first part. My first part is 7. And my remaining part is 3. So 3 equals 10, subtract 7. And again, my whole goes before my subtraction symbol. 10, subtract my first part, which is 3, equals my remaining part, which is 7. So 7 equals 10, subtract 3. I would like you to pause your screens. Please try this one for me and come back when you are ready to check your answers. Fantastic. Let's look at the answers, please. We're just going to whiz through them. So we know that our whole is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our whole is 5, equals our first part, which is 1, plus our other part, which is 4. Look at the fat family flat. So our whole is 5. We're going to swap our parts over, equals our first part, which is 4, plus our other part, which is 1. Now subtraction. So my whole before my subtraction symbol. 5, subtract my first part, which is 1, equals my remaining part, which is 4. So 4 equals 5, subtract 1. Again, put my whole before my subtraction symbol, subtract my first part, which is this time going to be 4, equals the remaining part, which is 1. So 1 equals 5, subtract 4. So here we've got my two parts. My first part is 1, my other part is 4, equals my whole, which is 5. Look at my two parts here, I'm going to swap them over. So my first part is 4, my other part is 1, and my whole is 5. Down here, going to look at subtraction. So before subtraction, my whole goes before the subtraction symbol. So my whole is 5. Subtract my first part, which is 1, equals my remaining part, which is 4. And swap my parts over. So my whole is 5. Subtract my first part, which is 4, equals my remaining part, which is 1. Fantastic. I'm just going to quickly look at these ones. So here I have two number sentences. I have 2 equals 6 subtract 4, and I have 6 subtract 4 equals 2. Are these representing what is shown in my part-whole model? Well, let's have a look. So here it's showing that it's a subtraction. So my whole is before my subtraction symbol. So it's saying my whole is 6. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My whole is 6. That is correct. Subtract my first part. Well, this said my first part is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's correct. 6 subtract my first part equals my remaining part. My remaining part is here, 1, 2. So 6 subtract 4 equals 2 is correct. So I'm going to say that I know this is correct because I know that 2 equals 6. Oh, hold on. I didn't read that number sentence then before I started writing. So I know that my whole is 6 equals my first part, which is 2, plus my other part, which is 4. And I also know that my whole, because subtraction goes before my subtraction symbol, which is 6, subtract my first part, which is 2, equals my remaining part, which is 4. Fantastic. Let's look at one more. So is this correct? So this is saying that 6 subtract 2 equals 5, and 5 equals 1 subtract 6. Let's have a look at this one first. So let's say that our whole is 6. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our whole is 6. Subtract our first part. Well, neither of our parts are 2, like this is saying, so that bit is not correct. Our part is actually 1. So 6 subtract 1, it should say, equals our remaining part, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know this is incorrect because it should say that 6 subtract 1 equals 5, which is the same as 6 equals 1 plus 5. Fantastic. Okay, here are some worksheets for you. So you have circle sheet, semicircle and triangle. You can pause the screen here to complete these down, and also you can get these off the school website if you want to print them out. And please send in your work so we can have a look at what you've been doing at home, and we're super excited to see it. And we will see you next week for some more maths. Thanks very much.